introducing you as?
Well, I'm in charge of media and communications.
Media and communication of PDP,
PCC.
presidential.
Yeah. Okay. Media, director of media and communications.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to this edition of Nigeria Decides 2019. My name is Adeoye Obanleowo, and today we continue, as usual, our political discussion about Nigeria. As we know, the 2019 election is around the corner, less than a month away, and right now the political cauldron is boiling, and it's getting hotter and hotter in Nigeria, and campaign being flagged off, and activities raging higher and higher as we speak here in Nigeria. As our own contribution to the enhancement of the coming election and our own vision of a better Nigeria, we are trying our best as a new kid on the block. Heritage Television, as you know, we've been the main talk of town now for some time, and as we have always assured you, we won't disappoint you as we try our best to bring to the table both sides of the political actions, so that at least we can get more enlightened, more informed, and more educated about occurrences politically as is unfolding in Nigeria. Yes, as I said, my name is Adeoye Obanleowo, and today I'm having two gentlemen with me who are here to actually speak to you about what the plans are from their own angle of the political action, and just to actually let you know and brief us more about the latest information that is raging within the People's Democratic Party. And recently there was an occasion in which the diaspora PDP UK gathered, and that occasion was just the launching or inauguration of the media campaign organization of Atiku in the United Kingdom. The occasion was rated as a huge success, and I have two gentlemen here who were part of that activity, in which we had an honorable from Nigeria who chaired the occasion and launched the campaign organization. To my left, I have Mr. Adeoye Obanleowo. He's the Director of Media and Communication for PDP in diaspora, that is for the Atiku campaign diaspora organization. Mr. Obanleowo, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And to my right, I'm having with me Mr. Kosoni Aromire. He's the former PDP Public Relations Officer, and is glad to meet you today and dialogue with you. And for the little time that is going to be with us, please just listen and let us know what is on the menu as regards the plan for PDP taking the baton of leadership in Nigeria come this May 29, 2019. Gentlemen, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Kosoni, let me take on you first.
Yes.
You are the former PRO of
PDP Southwest.
PDP Southwest.
Yes.
In Nigeria.
Yeah, in UK. Yeah.
In the UK, okay.
Yeah.
Because you have to clarify that.
Yes.
Now, judging by what has been happening in the past 3.5 to 4 years regarding PDP, if you cast your mind back, the party was almost in decimation due to continuous panding by the ruling party APC. And if not for fate, by now, we could be forgetting about PDP. So what magic has brought PDP back to the fore of Nigerian political scene?
I would say it's consistency, and is the faith and the formation of the party. Despite all here and there stone thrown at the party and all kind of imposter like Shehu Hamudu, we end up overcoming it because we focus on our strength, on building the nation and building the party back to bring us back, because what happened to us was the first time we lose elections. So we have to regroup. And I think it was a good thing that it happened, because right now we are much more stronger, better than the way we used to be, because that has helped us to straighten ourselves and get rid of the mold among us. So we are more focused now, and better straightened than we used to be.
Well, as a political party, are you realistic about this coming election? Because by every indication, it's like not much is being heard from PDP as such in terms of publicity, in terms of wild campaign by social media. And it's like this PDP is still having the same overconfidence that actually saw them out of power in 2015. What do you reckon?
We are doing the campaign, and the campaign we're doing is based on what we are receiving. And you have to look at it. For the past 3.5 years, is Nigeria better than what it was in 2015? The answer is definitely not. And we have built ourselves, and we are more prepared because we have been there. We know what we can do. We know what we've been doing. And if APC didn't come in, and Boy didn't come in, every Nigeria will still be calling us name that we destroyed Nigeria, we did this, we did that. But we are very glad, and we are very happy that they came in, and everybody have seen what APC is all about. And they are better as opposition because they keep us on our feet. But in governance, we can see that they are failing governance because they are just like opposition in power. Today we see them attacking us rather than presenting what they have been able to do better than us. But we have not seen anything. If Nigeria have to be realistic, they have not done anything better than what we have done. They even have made Nigeria worse off than what we have done. So it's there for the people to judge, you know. And we believe that for Nigerians have seen the difference. Now they will have known that, oh, everything about APC is just mistake and it's not real, because they were saying they're going to do this, they're going to do that, but you've given them an opportunity, and Nigeria has given them the opportunity, but they have failed Nigeria woefully, and they've destroyed everything that we've been trying to build. And anything they've done is what we are doing, or we have done, that they've added on to just show the people that this is what they've done. But can they name a project that APC have started and have finished with these 3 years?
I'll take you on that later.
Yes.
Mr. Obanleowo, Buhari is coming to lead Nigeria as president. A blessing or a curse?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Going back to 2015, when we had elections in Nigeria. A lot of people were of the view that 16 years of PDP administration hasn't actually gone down well, and that Nigeria actually desperately needed a change. I wasn't too optimistic about the prospects of President Buhari, because going back by previous antecedents, when he was the military head of state, you and I are living witness as to what transpired then. I mean, we knew exactly who was running the country. That was in 1983 to 1984, probably 85 to 1985. Now, we saw what happened about 18 months in government. We knew that late General Adeoye was the one in charge of that country. And unfortunately, you know, the excuse then was, unfortunately, because there was a coup d'etat. So the Nigerians actually felt, yes, they had good plans, but, you know, the administration wasn't really given the opportunity to, you know, execute what they actually had for meaningful Nigerians. But that's not the point. The point is, when it came into power in 2015, you took office and you swore allegiance to Nigerians that you could do better than what my party did in 16 years. Well, I mean, it's quite obvious, just like my brother said now, 2015 up to now, I mean, is Nigeria progressing or are we regressing? You know, we're still at a point whereby, you know, nobody knows the direction in which that country is taking. You know, so in retrospect of how anybody perceives this government, I think they've failed the nation woefully. You know, they haven't actually had clear policies. Nobody knows what they stand for. You know, it's been one issue or the other, rather than actually facing the issues that actually is a dilemma for an average Nigerian. You know, the issues concerning health, education, good roads, infrastructures, all those things. There's nothing to show for it. All we just keep hearing is, you know, what has the previous government done in the last 16 years? That is not the point. You've been given the opportunity to showcase what you have to offer Nigeria, and you haven't actually performed. It's as simple as that. So our plan now is to make sure that we wrestle power back from these people in 2019 and hand over power back to PDP. You know, we have a track record. There's no permanent government. There's no government in Nigeria that is perfect. And I'm not saying that in the last 16 years that we haven't actually had our own problems. Far from it. I'm not going to sit down here and say we had actually had it easy and plain sailing. But you have to give President Goodluck kudos for the little and the under 4 years what he's been able to do as the commander-in-chief, and all the good work that he did, which they are not giving him credit for. So personally, this present administration, they have deceived us as a nation. They have not performed. The country is not going the way an average Nigerian would expect Nigeria to be. They came in with so much expectations, so much promises, you know, but nothing is working so far. So, I mean, I personally, you know, as a PDP member and as a man that loves Nigeria and wants Nigeria to be progressive, this present dispensation hasn't actually done anything that anybody will be proud of.
So, which means it's a cause rather than a blessing to Nigeria.
It is a cause to Nigeria.
Mr.
Yes.
Kosoni, if I may take you on that,
Yeah.
how will you rate a typical APC supporter, especially with regards to the love they have for Buhari? Because today, in the mind of every APC member or APC fan in town, it's like Buhari is a magic because he has done so much, and they are showing us infrastructure, how he completed infrastructure across the nation, even though so many stories have been seen that many of the things that he told us in his last page, you know, are just sheer mouth saying rather than what actually was on ground. What do you think is gripping people, you know, with Buhari, that up to now people are ready to die for him and they want him back in power, despite all the catalogue of failures that Mr. Obanleowo has just explained to us?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. You say Nigeria, most Nigerians are poverty-minded, and a lot of Nigerians are really, really distressed, I would say. And if we look at the situation on ground, we know that definitely Nigeria is worse off than 2015. And there is one thing that Buhari brings on board that he always says: corruption. I will fight corruption. I will fight corruption. And we need to ask ourselves, yeah, people say during the PDP rule there was money flowing here and there, this and that, and right now there's no money flowing about. But can Nigeria categorically tell us that Buhari has succeeded in fighting corruption? I think I would take the word of David Cameron, the former British Prime Minister. When he first met Buhari, he said, he make a joke, fantastic corruption. People say, oh, he was referring to Jonathan, but then we know now that Buhari is really, really fantastic corrupt man, because he gathered himself around himself with people who are very corrupt. And Oshomole said the other day, if Nigerians are really listening, and he said, once you come to APC, your sins are forgiven. So are we really fighting corruption? So Nigeria should look at it. We should stop being fooled by word corruption. In every government of the world, there is corruption. But the most important thing for Nigerians is, are we better off? Is there infrastructure going? Is there things on ground that we can see? Okay, they talk about recovered money, and today we cannot see the money being recovered. We don't know where it is. We don't know what happened to Ikoyi money. We don't know what happened to Andrew money that was found in Kaduna. We don't know what happened to the money that was found in the airport. So all these are going on. We have 200 million grass cutters from former SGF, but still, Nigerians are so deluded that they still believe that in Buhari because of, they say it's Mr. Integrity. I must say, well, if they say it's Mr. Integrity, I want to ask one question. If you gather yourself around yourself with thieves, people that are with some dodgy character, but you yourself say you are not dodgy. But they say we all know the condition that say, show me your friend and I'll know who you are. And we hear Galadima that know Buhari more than any one of us today saying Buhari is a fraud. What else can I say? His wife has come to the TV and tell us that Buhari is not in control. What else do Nigeria need? The facts are there. The truths are there. And if all these are there, they still believe in Buhari, then there's something wrong with most people that are still supporting Buhari. It's either they're not educated enough, or it's either they cannot assimilate and dissimulate information, or something else is wrong. But we are more focused on progressive Nigeria. We're more focused on building Nigeria. I'm not here to keep on attacking Buhari or APC. We are here to say, are Nigerians better off than 2015? If 20 million are unemployed now, within 3 years, from 8 million to 20 million, within 3 years, imagine if this government continues for the next another 8 years, how many Nigerians will be unemployed? If Nigerians are dying in the street, if there is no job, the country is not progressive. They keep lying, giving us figures that does not match up. And it's left for Nigeria to even look within themselves. Am I better off than 2015?
Thank you, Mr. Kosoni. Yes, I think the judgment is for you to look at, you, our viewers. Is Nigeria better off now than what it was in 2015? Or is it worse off? Please get engaged as we are here today, either on Facebook, or if you want to call in, very soon the phone is going to appear. Let us hear your opinion. Is Nigeria better off today as compared to what it was in 2015? Mr. Obanleowo, now what are the plans on ground as regards the issue of campaigned for Atiku, both in the diaspora and back home. What has the organization put on ground that will convince the entire world that Atiku actually is right for Nigeria as we are speaking?
Thank you. You see, we have a lot of plans in place to make sure that 2019 is a year that every meaningful Nigerian will be very proud of. You see, a lot of things have actually been said in the past about Atiku's credentials, why they think he's not the best man for the job. You know, a lot of things came on board. But you see, this is a man who was vice president of Nigeria for 8 years. Under the leadership of General Olusegun Obasanjo, we know how buoyant our economy was. He was in customs for so many years. He was a successful businessman. And until you really give somebody the opportunity to
prove
themselves in whatever they say they can offer us, you can't actually just assume that because somebody was the vice president for 8 years, you know, all sorts of scandals came up, you know, all sorts of allegations and all these illicit comments that they were making, that automatically that actually disqualifies that person. You know, Nigeria is a country where there's rule of law. You know, if you want to say somebody is not capable of doing a job, then you must have your reasons. You can't just try to discredit somebody based on the fact that, you know, certain things went on, you know, when he was a vice president, you know, without actually having your facts to substantiate, you know, what people have been saying. And unfortunately, in Nigeria, we tend to believe more in what people say than what we can actually feel, you know. And the facts are information. Was he indicted for any financial irregularities when he was vice president? No. You know, a lot of people are actually going by what Baba said in his book, Under My Watch. You know, you see, I mean, we need to be sensible and logical about so many things. You know, you can only say somebody is corrupt when that person has actually been tried in the court of law. In the event that any court of law has not actually found this man guilty of anything in terms of financial irregularities, this man should be given the opportunity to showcase his prowess, to showcase what he has for Nigerians in 2019 going to 2023. And he has a lot of programs on education, health, pensions, good infrastructures that will propagate Nigeria towards a better 2019 into 2023. Just as my colleague said earlier, the situation in which Nigeria is in now, we're in desperate need of change, and that change must come when we conduct elections when we conduct elections next month in February 16, 2019. So I think the opportunity is there for every Nigerian now to express their concerns about the direction in which our country is going by actually going out to vote for the right candidates and put sentiments to one side. We need to put sentiments to one side and believe in one Nigeria. Buhari has been president since 2015. The country is not moving forward. We're not achieving anything. We're in a stalemate. But give this man the opportunity because we believe he's the present and the future. So I have no doubt that this man, among the two candidates, Buhari and himself, I think he's the more experienced. He's been proven and tested. And I believe that come 2019, when Nigerians cast their vote, this man should be given the opportunity to be our next commander-in-chief.
Thank you very much. Viewers, please don't misjudge us as being one-sided, because we have here two PDP men. We actually reach out to both APC and the PDP. And as we speak, we are still expecting our APC guest to knock on the door and come to the studio. We are not here to vilify anybody or to adjudge anybody as being guilty of any offense. All we are trying to do is bring to you views from both sides. You are the right judge. You are the one who can actually determine who you are going to vote for. And so, please don't think we are taking on PDP why APC is not actually on seat. We are expecting our guest, who happens to be an APC person, and he called us earlier on to say that he was stuck in, on the traffic. However, if in case he's not able to make it today, this is going to be a regular run, perhaps weekly, so that both as we bring in PDP today, if we can't get a balancing view right there and then, be rest assured that by next week we are bringing in APC stalwarts who are going to actually defend the activities, the achievement, and the journey as far as APC is concerned this month of January 2019, as we look forward into another election come February 16, 2019. My guest, the program is Nigeria Decides 2019, and my name is Fatai Oguribido, a guest presenter today, taking on two PDP spokespersons. And right now, I'm speaking to Mr. Obanleowo, who happens to be the media and communications director for Atiku Diaspora Campaign Organization. Now, Nigeria has been so dragged in the mud for a very long time. We've been practicing politics of deceit, propaganda here and there, and yet, can we now conclude that the level of poverty in Nigeria is contributing to our dilemma, our paranoia, as we are speaking? Because when you see so many comments on the social media, the impression being created is that when you speak against this government or you speak against Buhari, it's like you hate Buhari, or you are a tribalist, or you are, you are tagged automatically. Yeah. For instance, most of the time I put my message across on Facebook, people look at me as being a PDP person. And I keep convincing them, I'm not for PDP. All I'm for is justice and fair play for Nigeria and for the Nigerians. Now, what do you think has contributed to the way many APC fans are perceiving Buhari, even despite this catalogue of failure that you have explained to us earlier on? What do you think is contributing to this? Has there been something behind that we cannot see that is propelling his name, or maybe spiritually, or what? Why do you think Nigerians, despite the sovereign, the ritual sacrifices everywhere because of people's sovereign, and you can see the level of poverty that has drawn us to this level of livelihood in Nigeria? So, what do you think is causing all these judgment, either his judgment or rather judgment on the side of Buhari as a person, as a president of Nigeria?
Thank you very much. You see, you've asked me a very, very good question, and the answer to your question is cannot be far-fetched. You see, unfortunately, when we have a system that is so dysfunctional like we have, and a lot of people have actually they've actually had their livelihoods being taken away from them, it is very, very difficult for any reasonable Nigerian who find themselves in that situation to be able to think straight. You see, it is quite unfortunate that a country who is the most populated, with a population of about 180 million, we have the manpower, we have the resources, we have a lot of educated Nigerians. Everything is just in total disarray. And if you really want to try and understand the acumen of a human being, what makes us tick, you really have to go through the mind. And when somebody's had their livelihood, their self-confidence taken away from them, then these are the kind of situations that you find a lot of people, unemployment, a society that is less tolerant, a society whereby we have leaders who are not even fit for purpose. You find a society that is disgruntled. I mean, these are the kind of issues that you'll always expect. Now, going back to your question now, there's always going to be, in any society, there's always going to be people, whether the system is running effectively, there will always going to be people who will have their own personal person to say, irrespective of what is happening, Buhari is my person, Atiku is my candidate. You know, you will always have those kind of people, irrespective of the direction in which the country is going. But my main concern, and just to buttress your point, is we honestly don't understand who we are as Nigerians. Because when you understand who you are, then you begin to think positively. That why would you elect somebody to administer your future for the next 4 years and there is nothing to show for it? How can you have somebody who is in power, who is claiming to be your commander-in-chief, but most of your policies are only favoring people in the north, while people from the south-south, the southeast, and the south-south and the southwest are being marginalized?
But when you put on this sort of opinion, people think you're a tribalist yourself.
I'm not being tribalistic. I'm just being honest about the way and direction Nigeria is actually going through. I wouldn't actually say we are going through the best of times now, because if you look at the economy, the economy is going down. Look at the rate of the pound sterling to the naira. Was that how it was 3-4 years ago? No. I mean, look at the hospitals, look at the roads, look at the state of our education, look at the economy, look at small scale business. Everybody is crying about the predicaments in which Nigeria is right now.
But
and
people
it's a cause for concern.
Let me call you short. People have been highlighting the successes and the progress that Buhari has made in Nigeria as a leader. For instance, we've been shown so many infrastructural settings that he has been able to complete, roads, bridges, and others, which actually has convinced them that actually he has really acted the way Nigerians wanted him to act. So how will you disprove this when pictures are being shown about how some roads are being completed and how some schools are being built and so on and so forth?
You see, people will always try to create a positive image for a government that is dysfunctional anyway. It is quite unfortunate that during President Goodluck Jonathan's era, most of the good things that this guy, the policies and all the good things that he did when he was in office, they went unnoticed. Either because the APC deliberately, wanted to use that, or Nigerians are just ignorant. You can't just tell me that 16 years of PDP administration in Nigeria, was a complete disaster. Far from it. In the educational sector, I mean, this BVN that was introduced to Nigeria a couple of years ago, I mean, Goodluck Jonathan initiated it. PDP came up with the idea. Now, most of these things, we need to be realistic about everything we say in order to convince Nigerians. I mean, an average Nigerian is more particular about putting three square meals on the table for their families, good education, good infrastructures, good health services, their pensions when they retire. Oh, I mean, you can't just tell me good schools, good roads. Yeah, they are. Yes, you could applaud him, but at the end of the day, should that be high on the agenda? Most of our resources are being wasted on building road infrastructures when people don't have jobs. How do we defend that when we have about 20 million youths languishing without employment? Unemployment is on the higher rate of inflation. So there are so many things that are fundamentally wrong about us with our system. And these are the problems that we are still facing in Nigeria. And without actually being sentimental, I will be honest with you and say those who are still thinking that Buhari is still the best man for 2019, are only enemies of Nigeria, and they are not part of what I would call progressive Nigeria.
Yes, coming from Mr. Obanleowo, when you applaud Buhari or APC's achievement in the past 4 years, it seems you are an enemy of Nigeria. If you disagree, please give us a call or please respond on our Facebook page and we'll try and read your message out. As we speak today, I can assure you that so many minds are being made up as to who to vote for come next month. And the political cauldron is boiling hotter and hotter, and we can see the smokes coming out. And nobody actually can predict by this year's June where Nigeria is going to be, who is going to be our leader, who is going to be vanquished, who is going to be victorious. Now, let me ask this big question which people have been trying to find one way or the other to pull down PDP. Is Atiku really corrupt?
I don't think so, no. You see, I buttressed that point earlier. You see, this is another kingdom, and we all know how the system works here. You cannot just accuse somebody, of any irregularities, either financial crime or any form of corruption, without actually having your facts. You see, unfortunately, the reason why things are always so in disarray in Nigeria, whereby anybody can just come up and say this person is corrupt, is because we have a legal system that is not working effectively. Has Atiku, has he been indicted for any financial crimes? No. Can anybody say, okay, these are the crimes that you are accused of? This is the time and the date that he was convicted in the court of law? No. You see, you can't just a lot of things go on social media, which is false information, because that's what people want to hear. Because basically, what people are trying to do, most especially those who think that this man is not the best person for the job, is try to discredit him as much as they can and come up with so many issues that, few years ago, all we keep hearing is this man cannot go to America, and it's probably wrong. He went to America. He's back in Nigeria now, on the campaign trail. So what more can you expect from a man of his status? So my response to the question you've asked me now is no, I don't think it's corrupt. I think Nigeria is a country whereby we need to go back to basics, allow the rule of law to take shape. The rule of law in Nigeria is being clouded with so many misfortunes, corrupt judges, corrupt lawyers, and all that. So people just think that in Nigeria, money talks. Money can get you whatever you want. But that is not how it should be in a democratic society. We need to be sensible with what we want and what our expectations are. Everybody that comes out in the open, yes, that's the purpose of due diligence. You do diligence. You do due diligence on your candidates, and Atiku, due diligence was done on him, and nothing incriminating was found against this man. So, just like any Nigerian, he has a right, he has the constitutional right to contest for the office of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And as far as I'm concerned, and I stand to be corrected, this man, he has already told Nigerians, give me the mandate, give me the opportunity to be your Commander-in-Chief 2019, and that is his plans, and that is what he wants, and God willing, he will get there by God's grace.
Now, if I may take you on, the program is Nigeria Decides 2019, and I'm with Honorable Adeoye Obanleowo, Director of Media and Communication for the PDP Atiku campaign organization in the UK. Now, we have to come very much closer to the issue of political discussion in Nigeria. What we have engaged in for a very long time has been politics of slaves, name dropping, blackmail, all sorts of things. Don't you think that the PDP, if they will have a chance in this coming election, they have to discuss about issues that concerns Nigeria, about infrastructure, about building of schools, about better roads, about the medical services for Nigeria. We all know about NHS here, and we know about NHS Nigeria and other things. And how can we, how do you want to get PDP into the mind of so many people who have been so carried away by the media campaign by the APC in the past 4 years, which actually has eroded, let me say, the sanity of many, and which has made so many to misjudge Mr. President? What don't you realize that right from now you have to discuss on issues as it concerns Nigeria, that we have to play more on politics of issues rather than a personal attack and this list?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. You see, I mean, you've just asked me a very, very cogent and important question. And you see, as a nation, we have to be mindful and realistic about our expectations. You see, Rome wasn't built in a day, don't get me wrong. And it does take time, most especially when you have a system that has actually been in total disarray for so many years. PDP as a party, as I said earlier on, we've had our issues in the past. And nobody is saying that any government is perfect. Let me be honest with you. You see, but the most important thing is for you to understand that, listen, there are problems, but for every problem, there are going to be solutions.
Definitely.
Now, what I keep saying to people who have ears to listen is this. When you find yourself in a dilemma, do you continuously look at the problem without finding a solution? Or you want to sit down and start feeling sorry for yourself? No. You sit down and say, okay, here are some problems. How do we go about getting solutions? This man is now saying to you that, listen, I was in customs. I was a very successful man. I'm a very successful businessman. I was vice president of Nigeria. 8 years as vice president. Yes, mistakes were made. No government is perfect. But let me take those years of experience as a successful businessman and what I've learned under the leadership of General Olusegun Obasanjo and bring that to 2019 with what I have in my manifesto and highlight how we are going to tackle all these problems concerning electricity, education, health, infrastructures. And the only way all these policies and all these issues could be tackled is if you allow the right man to be in the right place at the right time. And now is the right time for the right man to be in the right place.
Well, I want to actually quote in future.
Yes.
That you said it, that the right man was being in the right place.
Yes.
And now we have got him there and he's living up to such expectations. Viewers, once again, I am reminding you, this is Heritage Television and the program is Nigeria Decides 2019. With me is Honorable Adeoye Obanleowo, the Media and the Communication Director for PDP article campaign organization in the UK. As I said, we are expecting the APC guy who actually is running late. I can show you right on my side there, the seat has been there. This program is supposed to have started 12 o'clock. We waited 2 hours for him. That maybe when he comes, then we can start the program. But having waited so long and it's not arriving, we said, well, people are waiting for the program. Let's just commence it. But as soon as he comes, definitely we'll take on him. But if in case he's not able to make it due to traffic or one problem or the other, kindly get engaged. We have the phone here. The number is coming on to you so that you can just get across and counter whatever Honorable Obanleowo has been saying to us. If you are convinced that Buhari should continue another 4 years, please tell us the reason why. If you are not convinced and you believe that all we have asked since 2015 are sheer propaganda and just gameplay against South from North, please phone us. Let us hear your opinion. Heritage is a balanced media organization. We don't take pride in being one-sided. All we are after is let us dialogue here, let Nigerians judge and pick the right choice. What we are just praying for is in Nigeria, we don't want confrontation. We don't want war. It's politics. We have to play politics of love, not politics of bitterness, not politics of violence. Nobody will wake up in the morning and realize that one or two of his families have been killed or either gone down or have been, due to hunger, maybe going to steal petty things from the market, is being linked. This horror news that has been coming from Nigeria has been very, very heartbreaking. We have to move away from this. And the only way we can do that is let us go to the poll in the next election and vote for our right candidate. And we are here today just to be able to push forward as the election is coming. And with me is Honorable Adeoye Obanleowo. He's been explaining from his own perspective of issues as it should be. And we are glad that at least we have the phone here where you can, we don't accuse us that we are being one-sided. Please, phone in and give us your own points and let us know where you are coming from. I will appreciate it as long as you phone us and give us your own points. And right now, still back to Honorable Obanleowo. Yeah. How will you describe the hope for the coming election? Because as we are here today, lots of things are happening in Nigeria, which may give chance for lots of uncertainties, and we don't know where we are going. Do you think the election is going to hold, and are you sure that it's going to be free?
Thank you, my dear brother. You see, I personally, I have my own concerns. And my own concerns are, can we ever actually find ourselves in a situation whereby Nigeria will be able to conduct free and fair elections? The answer to that question is no. Because unfortunately, when you find yourself in a system that is constantly plagued with corruption, malpractices, people stealing votes, intimidation, harassment, and the federal government using autonomous power over people, and bribing people with money to buy their conscience. It is so sad that Nigeria has actually got to that stage. And my only fear is, in view of what you've just asked me now, the APC are actually scared of conducting the presidential elections next month. I can tell you that now. Because they know that they are actually in a perilous situation now. They're not 100% sure of what the future says for this party. They're not 100% sure of what the future says for President Muhammadu Buhari. And they're not even sure of the policies they say they have in place, because the policies are not working. All we just have is PR medias, trying to manipulate information and sending the wrong messages out to people in order to brainwash them and giving them and creating the wrong impression. So I honestly don't know how to respond to that question unequivocally. We have a system that is not working. We have a system that is not working. So to be able to conduct free and fair elections in Nigeria will just take the grace of God. How do we, electoral officers from INEC down to the people who are going to actually take control on that particular day, would they be able to allow conscience to override their financial obligations or their morals? These are the kind of things that we should be asking ourselves as Nigerians. Do you want a situation whereby somebody is going to give you 5,000 naira and a bag of rice to buy your conscience for the next 4 years? So it is only meaningful Nigerians who are watching me, both here and abroad, that can answer that questions. They are going to be the ones who are going to be voting on the 16th of February 2019. So you cannot afford another 4 years of wastefulness, another 4 years of neglect, another four years of not knowing what the future says for your children. So our people need to be realistic about what they want and what their expectations are. And I am praying and I'm begging our people to come out en masse on the 16th of February 2019 and vote for Alhaji Abubakar Atiku to be your next commander-in-chief.
Thank you very much, Mr. Obanleowo. Right now on the screen is the telephone number 0208 0046 100, and go for option 9. And as I said earlier on, we are expecting the APC man, and he phoned about 10 minutes ago to say that he was still stuck in the traffic. But as we wanted to balance our views for today, we are having just arriving now is one of our guests, one of our invited guests, by name Mr. Ojasope Olumide. He's a public commentator, and he has always explained that his view is free of political leaning, that he just wants to speak. Yes. Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please. Good afternoon. Yeah. I would like to participate in the online.
Yeah, go on. Thank you very much. Go on. We are listening to you. Make your point, please.
Good afternoon.
I would like you to slow down your television, because we are still going to play this back. It's going to be online, so you can play it back, because otherwise it's going to be interrupting the communication. If you allow it to run.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Go on.
I've been listening to the team, and I can say they are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
On what they are doing there. I really appreciate it. But one thing I want us to actually look at very well is sincerity. We have to be sincere with ourselves. There was a question that was asked the other time. And that question is, are we better off now than 2015? Let's look at this critically. I know this kind of question was asked, and Honorable Senate President answered it. Let's look at it. By this time, 2015, a lot of staff, a lot of civil servants were owed. The government of the day were actually borrowing to pay salaries. Yes or no? That's number one. Number two, a lot of states could not pay salary as at this time. Yes or no? Let's answer ourselves. You see? Number three, by this time, 2015, a lot of money were being buried around with bullion van and all the rest. And the campaign was a beef of activity. Why? Because the safe, the vault of the central bank was widely opened, and the money was being distributed here and there.
Please, if I may just cut you short, can you?
I will not be short.
No, I'm not stopping you. I want you to introduce yourself, because we haven't got your name. That's why I just want you to tell us your name, please.
My name is Ola. Ola Famoreyo.
Okay. From where?
Yes. I'm calling from London here.
Okay.
I'm calling from Southeast London.
Go on.
Now, so again, let's be honest with ourselves. Don't let us be tribalistic or personal. You know, when it comes, it is the ordinary people of Nigeria that is concerned here. When it comes to sharing money, there's no PDP, there's no APC. There is no Hausa, there is no Igbo. There is no South, there is no Niger Delta. I'm an Ijesha man. Yoruba man was there for 8 years. The Lagos-Ibadan road, nothing happens. The Abeokuta, the Ota, Ogun road, nothing happened. Benin-Ore road, nothing happened. But I'm still answering the question. But now, at least something is happening. One of my colleagues, one of the guests there was saying the high unemployment, the decay in infrastructure and everything. I agree. But this unemployment, does this start within 3 years? This decay in infrastructure, is it within the last 3 years?
Okay,
This
if I may,
is it the last
I'm
3
not
years?
shutting you down. Let me ask a question, please. And in
Right,
relevance, okay. Before you go on, so that we don't lose track of what the point you are making, please, I want Mr. Obanleowo to respond to what you just said.
Thank you for actually calling in.
Mr.
Famorio. I have to applaud your comments because obviously you've spoken well, and most of the things that you've actually highlighted on, there are key issues that I want to mention this afternoon. You see, yes, most of the problems that we are facing in Nigeria didn't actually, just come up in the last few years. I mean, I've said that few minutes ago. But you see, when you stand for office, especially the highest office in Nigeria, office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and you swear allegiance to 180 million people, you cannot just begin to come up with excuses now to start giving us reasons why your administration failed woefully. Okay? You either perform or you get out. It's as simple as that. Nigerians are tired of all these excuses coming up day in, day out, that the previous administration, everything they did, was not in the best interest of Nigeria. No. So look, you have to be realistic with what you are doing. There's always this adage: if you are not competent enough to do a job, do not apply for that job. President Muhammadu Buhari, convinced Nigerians in 2015 that he was up to the task, and all these issues that you are highlighting now. Yes, we know those issues are there, but let me take you back to the last 40 or 50 years. You and I grew up in that country, and we've always been plagued with issues concerning electricity, road infrastructures, and all that. Even though during those years it wasn't as bad as it is now. Now, you now tell me, which government do you actually blame? Do you now say, okay, I want to blame the Shagari administration, or I want to blame the Buhari administration? Or no, you cannot begin to look at previous administrations and start looking for excuses. What you have to do is, okay, if the previous governments are not doing well, what can I do when I'm there to make the situation better? That is what Nigerians, you see, an average market woman, what they want to hear is not grammar. That the Gari I'm buying for 200 naira or 250 naira now. What are the measures you have in place that will reduce the Gari that I'm buying 250 naira to 100 naira?
Measures.
Sorry, sir?
Do you want me to answer?
Yes, please. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm here to,
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this, and I believe this is a very intellectual discussion, which I really appreciate.
Thank you.
Like you rightly said, sir, it's not possible for us to blame a particular administration. The decay has been there for years. All right, but you and me should appreciate the fact that it is elite like you and me that are the problem of that country. And I will tell you why. You see, when we see black, we want to turn into white. And like Riley said, the road cannot be fixed within a TINCO. The employment cannot be provided within a TINCO. I'm not a fan of Muhammad Buhari. I'm not a fan of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Rather, I'm a fan. I would have loved that a new set of people, a new brand of people, is able to have the capacity, the financial and everything, for us to test a new set, not all these people. It would have been fantastic. But let's look at it realistically, my dear brothers. Atiku, His Excellency, has been part and parcel of the problem. General Buhari, yes, has been part and parcel of the problem. But let's look at it this way. Let's be real with ourselves. Don't let us be myopic. For the past 3 years, we can see, all right, investments, all right, like you said, started from the period of His Excellency Jonathan. All right? Now, when the administration of Muhammad Buhari came in, they did not stop it. They continue, and we can see the result of the railway system now. Yes or no? Now, we can see the road. I fly Lagos-Ibadan road. Yes? For a long time, it was not fixed. I'm sorry to mention here, this was 16 years of PDP. I'm not castigating, but what I'm saying is, if it has been the normal thing that we will abandon all the projects, start another element, we will not see the result we are seeing here. Now,
okay, Mr.
Like
Famorio.
I would have loved the situation whereby a different, brand new set of people would have been there. But
thank you,
what
Mr.
I can
Famorio.
say at least for now, hello?
Hello, go on.
Yeah, please, if I may,
I will round up.
Okay.
At least for now, allow the fact that Buhari is there. At least we are not saying the corruption is not eradicated, but at least the fear that people know that are being cautious, other than everybody take what you want and take it. I want to refer you back again. By this time of 2015, money was being ferried about. At this period of 2015, no salary was not being paid to civil servants. At this time of 2015, more than 16 states, more than that, were not able to meet up with their financial obligations. Can you please confirm, yes or no? Is there no difference between 2015 and now? Thank you very much.
If I may, now, before you go, let me just put this point across to you. When this government came to power, far back in 2015, can you flash your mind back and remember? I'm not being one-sided. I'm only trying to follow the truth, because the reason why I'm saying this is because you told me you don't belong to Atiku and you don't belong to Buhari. Neither do I. I'm only a presenter. I have every right to my own opinion, but I'm just trying to remind you. I'm not taking sides at all. But let us be fair in our judgment. Let us be fair in our comments. If you remember far back to 2015, when Fashola and Amachi took over their ministry respectively, Fashola came categorically telling the world that he would not be able to start any other program until he finished off what Jonathan has started. And at the same time, Amachi repeated the same thing. And I wouldn't want us to, because let me tell you, the only thing that can salvage Nigeria from the current problem is the truth. The only,
but sir, they are not doing anything. They are still continuing what they started.
This is the point. I'm only trying to buttress. I'm only trying to buttress the view you gave earlier on, that at least this government has been continuing what last government started. You get my point?
Yeah.
But the point still remains: corruption, lack of infrastructure, educational the degradation, and so many other things. Tell me, which government in Nigeria since 1960, apart from between 79 and 84, has performed to the benefit of the voters? And at the same time, can you tell me which government has not been corrupt, either during Obasanjo 1999 to 2007, or either from 2007 to... So we, in our comment, we have to be fair, because if we don't educate our people, we have to remind them to understand that there are lots and lots of political play in our day-to-day political activities. And it will be unfair for us... Hold on, sir.
Let me answer the question.
It will be unfair for us...
Let me answer that question.
Okay.
Let me answer the question, sir. The only difference is this. When you look at the end, of this particular administration, the head is not rotting. Okay? Let me answer that. The head is not rotting. You see, like I said, all what we are saying now, what is important is the benefit of Nigerians. There are a lot of supporters that they are not supporting Atiku because they love Atiku. They are...
Hello?
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, sir.
Can we have your name, please?
Say again?
Can we have your name, please?
This is Muiwa Adesua. Am I live on the program?
Oh, yes, you are live.
Thank you very much.
Your contribution, please.
It's so saddening that a lot of people will be a presenter or journalist, but a lot of them are ardent supporters of PDP and Jonathan as at 2016.
No. Let me answer him. He's a very good friend of mine. He has always attacked me on Facebook, and I know where he's coming from. I've explained.
So
Hold on. Before you go on, don't put me in a hedge, please.
No,
I will never. Let me explain to you. I've said it earlier on during this program. When you try as much as possible to criticize Buhari, the perception in the mind of every Buharist is that you hate Buhari and you are for PDP. If I'm trying to pursue my own opinion to people that I'm not impressed with what, I mean, that's why I don't carry that to this program. Since you can see the questions I've been asking, don't ever be personal. When it comes to Facebook is different. Can I explain to you, sir? Can I explain to you? Facebook is different. I can put my personal opinion on Facebook. When it comes to a general discussion like this on national television, can I explain to you? I will never ever portray myself as being one side. That's why you can see the question I'll be putting across to our guests. So don't ever, please don't put me on an edge whereby you're going to contaminate my program, please. I beg you.
I'm not contaminating your program.
The caller.
Go on. Caller. I hope you allow me.
Sorry, sir. Caller.
To have a freedom of view and opinion as well. Without shutting me down.
Hello, Mr. Muiwa.
I'm having a guest here.
Hello, Mr.
By name, Mr. Ojasope Olumide. He's a public commentator, and he has. I mean, we had this one before we came in. He's completely depoliticized. He can give his own opinion according to the way he sees it. Please let him reply. You want to talk to you.
Mr. Muiwa, please, before you start, we don't want many people are watching us all over the world. We have personally, all of us as a Nigeria, we have one party or the other that we support. But on this program, please let us be fair with each other. We don't want you to be mentioning names. We have a guest that we brought to the studio. The man is the publicity secretary of PDP. Please, what we want now, I'm not doing the work of the presenter. We just want you to ask a question on how the election 2019 is going to come in. What is representing Atiku and PDP? Just ask him the question. And please, the studio, the Heritage Television here does not represent any party.
You've not allowed me to finish.
No, we will not allow you to finish. Sorry, Mr. Muiwa, we will not allow you to finish where we started from. What we came here for is just to let Mr. Obanleowo explain what his party and Atiku stand for. Please, whoever is going to ask a question, direct the questions to the publicity secretary of PDP, United Kingdom, Diaspora. Please, any question that you have, just ask a question, please. If you don't ask question from him, we will not accept any comment that is.
That's why I say you want to moderate my view. You've not allowed me before you try to explain all this to me.
You started by attacking me that I'm a PDP man. That alone is enough for me to cut you off, but I don't want to.
I don't know why you're so conclusive.
No.
I didn't mention your name.
Your message is.
I didn't mention your name.
You are personal to me. We know each other. You are my friend. You are talking on Facebook every day. I know it. Don't bring that to a live program, please. Otherwise, I will cut you off. It's my program. I can handle it the way I want.
You are free to do that online. Nigerians that are watching will be able to know. Make
your point and let Mr. Obanleowo answer you, please.
For me, I'm a Buhari and APC person, so I don't have any question for any PDP person.
Ask your question from
I don't have the question I would say to him, let him team up with other parties and make sure Diaspora have a vote.
I have explained to you that we invited an APC man here. I don't want to mention his name because it's not here yet. You understand me? We are supposed to be 4 in number. A public commentator, an APC person, and a PDP person.
I will call back, sir. Okay. When the APC man comes on board.
Okay.
So, Mr.
Yes. We are sorry about that. We just have to explain to him because we are live and we didn't want to be one-sided. I have explained to you we were to be 4 at the panel today: APC, PDP, myself as the presenter, as well as a public commentator who is completely depoliticized and tribalized. But the way he has taken me on is a very good friend of mine. Is always, and every day he attacks anything, any opinion I give across. As long as it's not pro Buhari, he's always attacking me. That's why he's bringing that to a live program, and I want the audience to understand that he's taking it personally, not because he's presenting me the way I am, but because he hates my opinion about the way I criticize government. I wouldn't take that to a live program. I'm only trying to present this according to the house style and what the owner of the studio wants, and that is to be fair to every part of the political settings. Please forgive me for the interruption. Please let us continue, as we know this can be useful to so many of us. With me is Mr. Ojasope Olumide. He has been here now for almost 15 minutes, and because of the point that Mr. Obanleowo has been making, which has been taking much time, I've not been able to actually allow him to make some contribution. We'll be talking about, Mr. Ojasope, we'll be talking about the next election and how it has actually evolved. Right from the time there had been cross-carpeting, this and that, until stability now comes, and we are now looking towards the election coming by next month. What is your expectations about next election, and what do you expect the political parties that are actually coming up are going to come out with?
Yeah, thank you, moderator. Thank you for that, the way you handle the situation. First of all, viewers, my name is Ojasope Olumide. I would like to just mention something on this program. This program, we have a visitor from both parties, and then I'm also a visitor that's a guest that is going to talk about Nigeria, not about party. You understand? Every one of us have one party or one person or the other that we are supporting, but this is a live program. We have to show maturity on this program. Yes, concerning your question, well, now the way things is going on in Nigeria now, we only pray that the election should be held in a peaceful way. There are a lot of things that is going on if you have been following the channels, television, and also all the media houses there. The only thing I will advise Nigerians is to come out. They shouldn't say because this they have favored now, tomorrow it might be their turn. You understand? Our Yoruba people said, I've forgotten the adage, that if you think that thing is not affecting you today and you keep quiet, it might affect you tomorrow. One thing I want all the political parties and the principals to know.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Can we have your name, please?
My name is Adeyemi.
Adeyemi who?
Adeyemi Adelefe.
Oh, thank you for coming on. What's your contribution to the program, please? Mr. Adelefe.
My contribution is this. I think most Nigerians, the way they think these days is quite funny. When you ask questions about the government of the day, me personally, I campaigned vigorously for Buhari in 2015 because the corruption that was going on at the time. But this time around, when things are going wrong, I've been questioning him about the herdsmen killing, about some corrupt people coming to APC and they become Saint overnight. We need to bring some knowledge into all these things. If you have such a question, it's not that you hate the president, but these are the things the president should do. It's about our welfare, about our welfare.
Generations coming.
Sorry?
I said about our future and the generations coming, and there are lots of things.
Yeah, so those are the main questions we need to ask. It's not about saying we are fighting corruption, we are fighting corruption alone. That is not the only way we're going to do in this country. No, it doesn't work that way. So the president should face the country. What are the things? How is he going to do about these things? He should come out of his shell. Not that they will be hanging him in Aso Rock or something. No. So those are the questions that he needs to answer. That's why I still don't get it that some people are in diasporas. They don't even think about all these things. In this country, where will you have that somebody has been attacked as a British, that the Prime Minister would not like to go there. People are dying everywhere. They will not even go there. They wouldn't even know. Even nearly a battalion of soldiers. We have to be reading all these things on the newspaper, not from the government. This is quite ridiculous. These are the things that the government, we should stand up for what is right. It's not only about, we don't fight corruption and not. No, life is more than any other thing. If money can be replaced, anything can be replaced, but life cannot be replaced. Those are the questions that the president needs to, they need to drill him to say. And if all this money that we have even been getting all this while, what have we been using it for? We want to know. Let there be transparency. Those are the things that we really, really need to bring to this government. It doesn't matter that if somebody criticizes you, think their person is PDP. No, that is not the issue. The issue is about, we are talking about humanity here. And those are the things that we have to address.
Thank you,
it's
Mr.
very, very important.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Please, ma'am, if I may ask you, sir, now that the election campaign has been flagged off, now what are your expectations for the campaign, especially from those who are the principal actors, who are the real stakeholders? What messages are you expecting from them as we approach the February election?
What the approach to the next election is, all the key actors need to tell us what are they going to do about the X-Men killing, what are they going to do about Boko Haram, what are they going to do about the economy. All the actors need to come out and tell us what they have to do.
Thank you very much, sir.
We don't want to be railroaded into that, into just election, just like that.
Thank you very much, sir. Bless you.
Yeah, what I'm saying now, I think we have to give the gentleman, Public Secretary of PDP. I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
The question is that because you are here, you are the one that we need to hear from mostly.
Okay. Yeah.
If the APC man comes, if he didn't come, he's going to come, and we are still going to squeeze him and ask some questions. What do you think that PDP is coming for now? That they are going to do now that they have not done during the 16 years time. And what can you say about Atiku? What do you think Atiku Abubakar and OP is going to do differently concerning the question the last caller has, like herdsmen, economy, and then maybe welfare for our people? That is my own issue. What do you think about the welfare of our people? That is going to be a generalized one, that will have a policy that you can just go. I was talking to someone yesterday. All this kind of kangaroo welfare package that they have been doing all here and there. It's not like you are living in UK. You know, if you have a problem of housing now, you know where to go.
Sure.
And then you don't need to know anybody. If you are having a problem, you want to get a school finance, you don't need to ask anybody, you don't need to go through anybody, just go to where there is a policy on ground for every Nigerian. What do you think Atiku Abubakar is coming for? Is he coming for that kind of a thing? Is he coming to save the economy? Is he going to come in to save the security issue now that we are? And then concerning the welfare, please, can you give us
thank you, my dear brother. You see, you have actually asked me a very, very important question that most of our viewers and those who are actually at home, they want realistic and straightforward answers. You see, everything that this man stands for, you can go back to 20, 30, 40 years. He is somebody who started with nothing but has built an empire for himself, which anybody can be proud of. You see, but it's quite unfortunate that, you see, a lot of people, when they have an opinion about somebody, they put your achievements to one side and they face the issues which are inconsequential and less important. You see, I can sit down here and honestly say that I would implore our viewers, after what I've said now, to go back and Google what this man has an offer to provide Nigerians if and when possible, by the grace of God, 2019, February 16th, when he gets elected to office. You see, the experience and the manpower is there. You see, this is somebody even though a lot of people are saying when he was vice president of Nigeria under Obasanjo's administration, all sorts of illicit and financial irregularities could be accustomed to him. You see, but as I said earlier, you see, you cannot just accuse somebody of issues which has not been proven in the court of law. It is absolutely wrong. Now, this man, he has said in his manifesto the issue of education, the health issues, pensions, road infrastructures, security, all the issues that are concerning our people. By 2019, February 16, when he gets that mandate to serve Nigerians for the next 4 years, a lot of people will start seeing changes. A lot of people will start seeing the changes that they have not seen in the last 4 years. Let's put aside.
But has there been a blueprint?
Please, can I just finish what my this point? You see, I personally I don't dwell on the past. It's because the past is gone. But sometimes when you are in government, you look at issues and you could say to yourself, listen, I wish we'd have done better. So here's another opportunity for him to rectify maybe some of the mistakes that were done. Because we have to understand that when he was vice president in 1999 to 2007, he was not the commander-in-chief, he was the number 2 man. So he can only take instructions from his boss. Mm-hmm. He was designated specific assignments, which he was asked to oversee, which he did to the best of his capabilities. Now, he is now coming out and saying to Nigerians that, listen, 8 years of experience as a vice president, I can add more to that experience and make Nigeria a better place with all the policies that I have in place. So I have no doubt that come 2019, February 16th, if Nigerians come out en masse and vote for this man, we will be seeing a different Nigeria compared to the Nigeria that we're experiencing now.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Mr. Ojasope, I would like you to actually tell us more. What are your expectations as we approach 2019 election?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. First of all, I'm expecting all the political parties to come up now and fight a cause. The cause is that the election must be free and fair. They shouldn't leave the fight for one party. You understand? Many of the party, my observation is that many of Nigerian political party, we have almost 91 political party, they are not coming out to say something concerning this election. And then if they can come out to talk to the INEC, that's electoral umpire, they can come out to talk to the security agencies and some other people that are going to work on that day, that there is no tolerance for election rigging. You understand? If everybody should come out and say, I know that the system, the election will be free and fair, but if they should leave it for one party or two parties to do, because we have 91 political parties, and I've never seen their hands, their voice outside, you understand, campaigning that we need a free and fair election. We must say it together, because now we don't know what is going on now. Although the INEC has been doing a great job, you understand, personally, the INEC have done a great job. When you are going to vote, they've done a system that even if you vote, you understand, there is a cubicle that you will go, and then there is going to be a distance, you understand, and they have educated us enough on what to do. And then when you vote finish, either you stay or you go. INEC have done their own, but the security agency has to have a system on ground. And then if the security agency have a pressure of the populace and even of the political parties around campaigning against any wrongdoing during that time, I know people will, they will control themselves. But if you people don't talk and then you allow one party, and then what I observe is that the party that are talking, many people are seeing them as if they are just talking. But if we are many, you understand, if all the political parties and the empire, they come together and they have one voice, I believe this election will hold and it will be successful.
Thank you, Mr. Ojasope. The message is very clear. Please, we don't want you to leave this fight to APC and PDP alone. If you are representing any other political party and you are in the diaspora and you are in London or in UK particularly, Please get across to us. We're ready to host you. We are not one-sided. We are just being fair to every segment of our political settings. Whether you are PDP, whether you are APC, as we are talking to you, they are on the same platform. They are all the same to us. All we want is what is of issues. What is the blueprint of your program for the next 4 years? How do you think Nigeria can advance? You know the way we are rated in the entire world now. I mean, I'm not politicking, but 2015, we know Nigeria's, I think, third in the world investment, and first in African investment. We know where Nigeria is now. These are the facts that at times when I try to portray them, I'm being asked to that I'm one-sided. But God knows my heart, I'm completely depoliticized. But when you have things that you have to educate people about, my journalism, I spent over 30 years. I would know when Buhari was in government, I was in the Punch newspapers. As a reporter, I covered him. So nobody can be telling me what I know. Yeah. And people who are under 45, when they are crazy for Buhari, I don't blame them. But I'm a window. I knew what happened during Buhari's regime, during the military. I witness what is happening now. So if I'm putting my opinion across, don't say to me that I'm being partisan. Sure. Not at all. Please, you belong to any other party, AAC, APP, please get across to us. We are ready to host you. We are all equal, please. Especially in the presence of this election, in the presence of Nigerian law, we are all the same. The only thing that makes us to make some animals be more equal than the others are when the election is held and then victory comes and they say so as one. Then that is when you are now categorized as being different. Please, every political party has a forum here. We are ready for you. As long as you are ready, phone in and we are going to host you. And as I said earlier on, please, the APC man just phoned about 10 minutes ago and was telling the director here that he got stuck at a roadwork and he was there for almost 1 hour, and that he's not sure whether he will come because he had to go back now for school run. That is not done for you. We can't help it. The children are stuck in school. He has to go back. But I can assure you, either before the week ends or by this time next week, we are going to host an APC stalwart here. Please, we are not being one-sided. We want to be fair. The program has to hold simply because the other guests are here. Is the only one that's not here. 12 o'clock, we started the program for. 2 o'clock, we started. I don't think we are, if I'm taking on these people, it doesn't mean because we belong to PDP or anything. Please, let us be fair. Don't contaminate the program. Let us know that we are doing the right thing because we have to empower our people. Now, Mr. Obanleowo, one thing that is trending now is the issue of Obasanjo. And when you look back at the issues that he raised yesterday, you will know that nobody can weed them off. Nobody can weed them. These are things that are obvious in our daily life. We see it. It is not that Obasanjo hated, because the level of insults people are raining on Obasanjo. Even when I was listening to TVC this morning, when I heard the way it was being pulled down, I was almost in tears. The reason being that I'm not a fan of Obasanjo, but the only thing that can sustain us as a nation is when we are truthful to ourselves. When we don't look at things from a myopic, angle. When we try to be fair to both sides. When Obasanjo came to government in 1999, we knew where Nigeria was. The road to Asoro was laced with broken bottles. There was tension. War was almost breaking out. And this man boldly came out. And by the time he left in 2007, he left a structure. We are talking about EFCC today. I'm not opinionating, but only the truth can set us free in Nigeria. When we try to hide under all these political parties because they are giving us stipends, let me tell you, all they are doing is they are buying the future of your generations coming. Let us be fair to ourselves. The political tension is so high in Nigeria now, nobody can predict what is the aftermath going to be. Please. 2007, by the time we are talking about EFCC today. Who initiated EFCC? It was Obasanjo. When ICPC was there, he initiated it. He left a structure to fight corruption. There is nobody that will be in government. The calling alone that you are an head of state has put you in a position of authority, a position of influence, a position of international reckoning. So there is no way. You can't weed that up from the personality of Obasanjo. He has the control. He has been there for a very long time. Is the best political asset that Nigeria has today. He has been inside those who control Nigeria leadership. He has been there. So let us be fair to him. And he's the one that he knows better. He has been part of the actors. He is among them. He knows how the game is played. So nobody could have just risen up today and start talking about security as if it is completely irrelevant. Experience, he has it. Yeah. Please, let us be fair in our comments. I'm not being one-sided. I'm only putting my opinion as I know the history of Nigeria and what it is. Now, he was talking about the issue of this government personalizing the coming election, that there is a sort of fear now that the election might not be fair. When, as the head of state of a nation, and the political message to the people is that you surround yourself with your own kinsmen, this thing, people are going to read meanings. Yeah. When you take one off and put your own there, people are going to read meanings. This is the truth about it. We can't shy away from all these responsibilities as Nigerians. We have no any other country but Nigeria. Now, Mr. Ojasokwe, are you now going to say that it is not true that this government is personalizing this election? Please, be fair. That is not personalizing the election by way of using the instrument of office to coerce people and to railroad, itself into winning the election?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I will answer that quick. Yeah, I can. The way what I've seen on media and the opinion of people, especially those who are not from this government in power side. Even some people that are even supporting the present government know that this government is not sincere with Nigerians when we are talking about political appointment across the board. Even the kitchen cabinet, even we see it every day and every now and then. But it wasn't like that in those days, because people have not been raising the issue like that, because the kind of issue that can destabilize Nigeria, that makes us not to be united, that is the issue of putting some people from your side, and there is no way, if you have children and you are taking care of one better than the other will cry out.
Definitely.
And then it can destabilize the family. They will start waging war on each other. Yeah. That is it. And secondly, another thing is I want to ask Mr. Obanla a question concerning Atiku, because I think that's why, because of Atiku, about Atiku Obi, that is why you're here, and we have to give you your time. Me and the presenter, we will sit down here one day and we start talking our own. Let's give Mr. Obanle, because he might.
Hello, good afternoon.
The next guest is Lashley Oladibolo.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lash, yeah.
So I will ask you a question concerning the issue that Atiku raised, concerning the privatization of the NNPC.
Good.
Yeah, I want you to explain to people concerning the issue of privatization of NNPC. What is going to be the benefit of Nigeria? Because it's saying the privatization of NNPC will benefit all of us. How is it going to benefit all of us? And then because some people don't know, when they heard about privatization, they always say, Otita, Nigeria. Maybe after this.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
You are live, please.
My name is Lashley Oladipo.
Hello, Lashley.
Hi. Yes, just contribute to this program of live going on the TV. First of all, we only have two questions to ask. That will be based on the. First will be to your guest, the Publicity Secretary, to the People's Democratic Party, PDP,
Obanleowo, yeah.
All right. And the other one will be for the other guest as well. Sorry if I can't remember the name. Well, the first question I've got is regarding we know that election is very forthcoming, and that the preparation to this election has been very, very upwardly, I would say, in terms of campaigning, in terms of people getting to know what will be on the table for. So irrespective of any political party, but now the question I'll pass it to the PDP, of which we have the representative here, who is your guest on TV. Is there any program or anything in the program or in the program policy of the flag bearer of the PDP, of presidential flag bearer, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar? Okay. His policy program has not been, I would say, it's not been really been well understood by many Nigerians to understand what actually he is coming on to do. That's quite different from what has been the president of the state has been doing, especially concerning the areas of corruption, areas of investment, and areas of bringing the economy back to normal, improving the state of our economy as well. And I think we have not even heard really from this. Nigeria has not really understood it. Is there anything that will make it different from what the points, the focus of this current administration that is taking the re-election as well? Is there anything different, or is it going to be different even from the past PDP form of administration that we had in the previously before this administration? Is there anything that we expect something different ways of handling the affairs of government from the PDP, political parties?
Thank you, Lash. Maybe before you come, maybe before you hook up to the program, earlier on we had the same question that what actually is Atiku going to do, different from the past, and what actually where has all this program or the blueprint for his policy is going to be. And he tried to explain then. Maybe we'll go over that again and explain to you most of the things that he thinks Atiku might be doing if he's want to as the president.
Thank you, Kola. You see, for Nigeria to move forward as a country, I think we need to be open-minded about what our expectations are. And that is, whoever we actually have in place, and God willing, we'll have a new commander-in-chief next month when we conduct elections. You see, the areas that you highlighted, especially corruption, we cannot tackle corruption. It doesn't matter who you have in office. If you do not make sure that you have an effective judiciary system that is working, there is no doubt that we have a dysfunctional judiciary system in Nigeria that is not working at all. You see, with due respect, it beggars belief a lot of judges that have been indicted in the last couple of years over financial irregularities and all that. So until we have an effective government in place that is looking into these issues and dealing with these corrupt judges and letting them know that, listen, if we have you guys in place to administer justice and deal with issues that are of this magnitude, and we cannot even trust you to do a job, then what is the purpose? What purpose are you serving? You see, for most of us who actually live in diaspora, we know how the system works here. We knew exactly what happened a few years ago when members of parliament in this country were indicted for, it was concerning expenses. We know how many of them went to jail. You see, so these are the kind of things that we need to look out for in Nigeria and make sure that we have a judiciary system that is working, that is free of corruption, that is free of any sentiment. You see, I personally, it doesn't matter whether, we have a Chief Justice who is from the South, Southwest, Southeast, or from the northern part of Nigeria. As long as you are acting in the spirit of fairness and you are working in harmony and in one accord, there's no favoritism or nepotism, I think that is crucial. Now, to answer your question now, Atiku is the best man for this job come 16 February 2019. The reason being is because, based on what I said earlier, this is a man who is coming into office with new experience, with 8 years experience as a vice president. This is somebody who has been proven, tried and tested as a businessman. Look, to even start a business is not easy, but to remain at the very top of your business you have to give anybody credit. So irrespective of any sentiments or how anybody perceives this man. So the economy, we need fresh impetus. There's no doubt about that. And we need to be able to say to ourselves that, listen, this man is coming up with new ideas and new innovations. And the only way to kickstart the economy is to make sure that all this excessiveness and all this wastefulness in Nigeria is being curtailed. How to deal with corruption is to stop the causes of corruption. You cannot deal with corruption if you don't stop the causes of corruption. Why is the country in so much disarray? Why are we having issues concerning corruption going back to 30, 40 years in the system, and we are still on that issue? So the only way to answer that question now is to put the right person there who knows and understands what it takes to get the economy moving. We have a dysfunctional government right now that is not working, that is not fit for purpose. Let's be realistic. So we need somebody who is going to come in with fresh ideas and inject fresh ideas. Surround yourself with the right people and the people with the right mentality, and that's the only way we can get this economy moving. And Atiku will be the best person to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Oladigbolu. We move on. Honorable Obanleowo, please, I want you to... Okay, another call is coming. Hello? Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
How are you, man?
My name is Oladimiji Adisa.
Oh.
I'm just calling to my observation from all the things that you people are saying.
Yes.
Is the fact that all the political parties are neither here nor there. They're all either. I see them as recycled set of political parties.
Obviously, you know that.
And the fact remains that, you see, the people who have the skills, who have the knowledge that I feel within me that are new, that should be the one that all of us as Nigerians, should look up to, they don't have the power. They won't be there. And those set of people that have this power now, they don't have that particular, the know-how, the technical know-how, the things that Nigerians themselves will love to see. So that's my own observation. And I just thought that you people, or everything you are saying, it's for Nigeria to move forward. I think we need new set of people, new blood. We need people who are younger than this set of people that are there right now. So if these people if we don't have these younger ones coming on board, believe me sincerely, I don't know what is going to happen in the next 8 years. Because in the next 8 years, then, what are we going to be talking about? Are we still going to be recycling the same set of people who are there right now?
Yeah,
so that's my
very important point that you have made. And before I contribute, please let Honorable Obanleowo let me respond to the issue you have raised.
Thank you so much. I think you've actually highlighted one of the things that I really were expected you to pinpoint. You see,
new generation of politicians.
But you see, what we have to understand about Nigeria is the issues in Nigeria are so complex and
so monetized that
yes, you see, when you're talking of the Shores and the yes, and what's his name again? Fela Dutoye. Yeah, they have. There's no doubt about that. They have enormous potential. They are ones for the future. But you see, let's be realistic. You need experience to put Nigeria on the right path. We need somebody who is experienced to get Nigeria on the right track, so that he can lay the foundation for these other guys to follow. I would say probably in the next 8 years, Dutoye or maybe Showore will be ripe enough. They're not experienced right now. You see, Nigeria is not a country whereby somebody can just say they want to. You see, as observers, we can say so many things from the outside, yeah. But not until when you get into the system, then you begin to understand
the reality.
The reality. And this man, Atiku, knows the reality of what is on ground now. And he is the best man for the job to take this country forward for the next 4 years.
Now, Mr.
Okay.
Go on.
Well, I agree with the fact that yes, people need to be experienced before they are given the opportunity. But when you look at what happened in other parts of the world, you know, we people in the diaspora should remember the fact that Mr. Barack Obama didn't know anything. He wasn't just anybody. It was nobody when he became a senator. And when he became a senator and he was talking, nobody ever thought that he will actually rule America for 8 years. And today, people are still talking about him as one of the best presidents America ever had. And look at his age. You know, many of us are older than Obama. You know, and all of you sitting down there, I mean, if you look at it that way, you will discover that, yes, that is the truth. Why? I mean, if we're saying that the same thing doesn't apply to Nigeria as a country, I mean, it's to me, I don't know where the experience you are talking about needs to come from. If people, I mean, this hashtag, too young to run, or not too young to run, or something. If it has to happen, it has to happen now. Because if you look at what is happening now in America, there are so many new sets of people that are coming up. They want to run for the presidency in 2020, and they've started now. So all these younger ones, as far as I'm concerned, APC needs to go and look for new generation of politicians that will take over from them. PDP need to go and do the same thing. At first, I think that is the way forward for the country. I mean, let's forget about whether Showore, whether all the other together. They are all young, yes. They have skills, they have ideas, yes, but they don't have the power, and that is the problem with African political system, because the people who have the power, you know, they don't have ideas. Yeah. And the people who have the ideas, they don't have the power. And as long as we continue to say that some people don't have experience, I don't know what will happen to the country. But let the people decide anyway. I know that the Nigerian populace will decide who is going to rule the country in less than 1 month's time now.
Thank you. Now, let me just add more to what Mr. Oladimeji has pointed out. This must even be a, major source of concern for the entire country. Because since the end of the war in 1970, we could see that unless you are remotely connected to the political class, the so-called cabal, who have hijacked the nation. Okay, another call is coming. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
I'm not bad.
Your name and where you are calling from? Taiwo.
My name is Taiwo. I'm calling from Kent.
Okay, Taiwo. Thank you for contributing. What are your contributions, Taiwo?
Yeah, my question, not really a question, it's just a contribution, but at the same time it's a question.
Okay.
To Honorable Adeoye Obanleowo, sitting there.
Yes, thank you.
As a PDP Southwest representative, I representing the Atiku Abubakar candidacy for the next election. Can you re-emphasize to the public what Atiku has said in one of his rostrum where he kind of performed, that he will downsize the federal government offices? I mean, downsizing because we have a very large balloon type of system of governance now. Okay. And he has promised that he's going to downsize that. The same thing Peter Obi said, which Peter Obi has demonstrated when he was the governor in his former state. That is that one there. The second one is that in talking about education, somebody that has got experience of education, he will even establish a university himself I think Mr. Obanleowo should tell us more about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Taiwo.
Mr. Taiwo. You see, the name article speaks for itself, and I thank you for the questions that you've asked. You see, Nigeria as a country, we are a country with enormous potential. There's no doubt about that. But you see, there are three ingredients when you're talking of management. When you want to manage, you must be able to manage your resources properly. You must be able to manage people, and you must be able to manage time effectively. Those are the three ingredients of management. You see, with that, he has that, no doubt about that. Concerning all these things that he said he wants to sell off, we need to manage the resources we have. There is too much wastage in Nigeria, wastage of resources, potential, and it's costing our nation, it's costing the economy, and the rate of inflation is on the increase. An average Nigerian is not benefiting from what we should be benefiting from. You see, the resources are being marginalized in such a way that only a microscopic few are enjoying the benefits of what every Nigerian should be enjoying. You see, I mean, I was reading an article few days ago in which some people were going on Facebook and saying, this is what the article said. He was going to sell, do this, do that, to his friends and all that. You see, let's get one thing right. As a Nigerian, I believe your president should be a friend to every Nigerian, because that is the value of citizenship anyway. When you begin to understand what citizenship is all about, then you begin to understand the importance of engaging with every individual in Nigeria, irrespective of your status, your education, or anything. So, and that is what this man said when he said 90% of NNPC will be sold off, because as it is now, 90% is only 10% that is being retained. So if they sell 90% off, Nigeria is only generating 2 million barrels a day. So by the time they sell 90% off, that will give Nigeria the opportunity to be able to 4 million in a day. So is that not maximization?
It is.
It is maximization. So, I mean, if this man is coming up with ideas of actually improving the fortunes of the country, I mean, people should applaud that and say these are good ideas that is bringing on board. And based on what the other question that the gentleman asked concerning his university back in his domain, you see, university is there to educate us. I mean, for those of us that have been privileged to go through the 4 walls of university, I mean, as I said, his achievements speak for himself. You see, all the things that this man has said he wants to do is beginning to show in the last 8 years. In the last 8 years, people are beginning to see that, okay, yes, 16 years ago, there were issues with PDP, which for some reason hasn't been addressed properly. PDP is now out of the equation now. It has given this man the opportunity to go back to basics and redefine his model. That, okay, 2019, I want to come back stronger. The university that he has in Adamawa State, look at the structure in place. Look at the programs. You see, it is not easy to run a university without having plans in place to make sure that things are going the way it should go. Effectiveness, cost, manpower, and the people that you put in place to administer all the programs that you have to make sure that people are seeing the benefits of what they're studying for. You see? So, just to buttress this man's point, education is crucial in everything that we stand for in Nigeria. Good education cultivates good manners. And in a system where we have an educational system that is working, the progress this man is making with everything that he's doing, he has not ventured into any business that has failed. He has always been a successful businessman. he was in customs. He did very well. He was the vice president. Yes, a lot of people might attribute so many things, but he was not the commander-in-chief. He was the second in command. He did his very best in extremely difficult situations. The university is there. A lot of people are benefiting. So we need to look objectively at Atiku, the man and the businessman. Atiku of 2019, his plans, the present and the future. Because nobody is perfect. We all, as human beings, we all make mistakes. But when you realize that, okay, mistakes have been made in the past, but there's still always room for improvement, then the only way you can make those improvements, or the only way you can showcase to people that, yes, you realize that mistakes have been made in the past, the only way is for people to give you the opportunity to correct. Even in this country, they all make mistakes. I mean, look at what Theresa May has been facing in the last few weeks over Brexit. It is not an easy job. It is not an easy task being in government. But only people from the outside always think that, when you are in government, automatically things have to go smoothly. Yes, there are always bound to be hiccups. But in difficult situations, that is when you expect Nigerians to come together as one united country and leave sentiments to one side. Sentiment could be tribal sentiments, or the fact that you just have a dislike towards that person. You know, you live to live, because we whether we like it or not, we need to believe in one Nigeria, because Nigeria belongs to all of us, and Nigeria has to work. Nigeria belongs to us. I mean, majority of us, we are just sojourners in a foreign land. And whether we like it or not, no matter our achievements in a foreign country, we need to support our candidates. We need to support this man to be able to restore back old glory. We need that right now, because there is no doubt that in the last 4 years, Nigeria has gone from a situation whereby a lot of people were looking to a brighter future, and now it's in so much disarray that nobody knows what is going to happen. And we cannot have another 4 years of Buhari administration. So, Kola, I thank you for the questions you asked me. Well, I think I've been able to showcase what this man is all about in terms of what he stands for. With his educational programs, and everything he plans to do to tackle corruption when he gets into office.
Thank you, Mr. Obanleowo. Yeah. As you are hearing from Heritage, the program is You Decide 2019. I've apologized several times that we haven't got the APC man here, but I can assure you, before the week ends, we are going to have a full blast of APC, program here, in order to balance up what is kicking off now. Please be rest assured, we are being real, no partiality. I don't belong to any political party, as earlier said by that guy. I'm just for a just and fair society that everybody is craving for in Nigeria. Before the week ends, we are going to have an APC stalwart here, 2 or 3 of them, to come and defend President Buhari. Please bear with us. I've been with Mr. Honorable Obanleowo, who has been speaking to us. Is the media in charge of communication, is the director in charge of media communication for Atiku APC campaign organization in the diaspora for PDP. Please bear with us wherever. Honorable Obanleowo, there is this question I was going to ask, which has been agitating me for a very long time, very crucial. Atiku has been a beneficiary of many of the leaders that we have today in Nigeria. And we know the circle of disaster that Nigeria has experienced since 1960, or even since the end of the Civil War. Now, how effective do you think Atiku can fight corruption if eventually he becomes Nigerian president? Because there is no way you can bite a finger that has fed you. And the reality about this should be staring at the face of 200 millions of Nigerians. That Atiku has always been part of the system. How is he going to fight corruption effectively when he has benefited from past governments, either one way or the other, through political patronage, or through economic contract, or through business connections? So how do you think such a man of that status can fight corruption effectively in today's Nigeria? And as we know, that corruption has always been so endemic, and is a major problem that Nigeria has faced for a very long time. How realistic is he going to be if he claims that he wants to fight corruption?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I mean, let me just go back to what you said earlier. You said going back to previous governments, that he has actually benefited
one way or the other.
One way or the other. You see, that's where we need to be extremely careful, most especially when we're trying to put our issues across to the wider public. You see, I mean, a lot of information is being disseminated on social media, which cannot be verified. You see, I deal with issues based on what I can verify. You see, there is no doubt that we have a system that is not working. You see, and we need to look at Nigeria going back to 40, 50 years ago, and now say, okay, after independence in 1960 to the time we are now is just almost 60 years. Are we actually progressing, or are we regressing? And if you look at previous administrations that we have, you tell me now, as my moderator here, has there been any government that we've had since 1960 that hasn't been plagued with major issues, either tribal issues or maybe Nigerians not just taking a dislike to that person, or there's always one problem or the other. It's either a tribal issues or maybe the person is not fit for postal. You see, the issue of corruption, unfortunately, became more glaring during the Shagari era, and we are still facing the issue of corruption up to now. It became even more obvious during the Babangida era, because he opened Nigerians' eyes to the fact that there's a lot of money in Nigeria. So, and to now say that Alhaji Atiku benefited from all these governments, these are issues that cannot be substantiated. I need facts, for people to say, okay, this man benefited, how did he make his money? Look, there are so many billionaires in the world, there are so many billionaires. He's not the only billionaire we have in Nigeria. But for you to single-handedly say that this person, has fallen short of the standards that you expect from a man in the public eye, you need to have your facts ready to defend whatever issues you think you have against this person. And coming to the question which you asked me, dealing with corruption, I think the issue of corruption has to be dealt with by every single Nigerian. You have to be your brother's keeper. You see, I mean, sometimes, even if you work in a small office, maybe like you work in a civil service, and you notice something, you have to be your brother's keeper. Whistleblowing is very common here. You see, Atiku coming in is not going to do everything. Let's be honest with ourselves, and Nigerians need to be realistic that the next 4 years is not going to be an easy task. The reason why we are criticizing this government is because they've said so many things. They are talking, but they're not working the work. Atiku is going to come in, hopefully by the grace of God, and I pray that by the grace of God he wins. But the issue of corruption is something that every meaningful Nigerian has to be aware of, and we need to be making sure that we are actually dealing with corruption even from our own homes, because it's endemic and it's in the system.
Another call is coming. Hello, caller.
Hello, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon. How are you?
Can we know your name, please?
My name is Olugbedu.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Your contribution?
I'm not going to contribute. I just want to ask one or two questions.
Okay.
And first of all, I'm going to say well done to Heritage TV for giving us and let us listen to the gentleman speaking in the house.
Thank you.
And I'm saying hello to the gentleman who have just joining now. And I'm going to say hello to Mr. Fatai too for a well done job done.
Thank you very much, sir.
And I pray that God will answer our prayer in Nigeria.
Amen.
Because like my friend always said that, Talashe in Nigeria, he always says that may God help us. My first question is that, we have APC there. And everybody is shouting, they want them, they don't want them, we don't want them, we do not want them. My first question is that if Atiku is going to win this election, how is he going to win it with the present Buhari sitting down there now? The reason why I'm asking this question is that Atiku came to the debate on Saturday and he walked out without participating. He said because Buhari is not there. And as far as I'm concerned, I was not happy about it. And I know a million people are not happy about it because he wants to hear his voice and what he has for Nigeria. And when he walked out, everybody was saying, Buhari is there, Buhari was there, because Buhari was not there, that's why they didn't make him walk out. Okay, fine. That's best known to him. But my opinion is that if he did that election, he could have 100 million more supporters to support him on the election day. That's my opinion. My real question is that, before I ask my question, I was in Nigeria when they do the government of Osun and 2 states in Nigeria, and I see how the election goes.
You mean the election?
The election, when they select the governors, when they're doing by party, Lagos State, and when they're doing the roundup of selecting the right people. And I see the way they handle the election. And to me, if they undo how will PDP be able to beat that? My question is very tricky, that when they did a normal election and the way they undo it is too powerful with the support of some big boys. So how will PDP be able to work with that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Olubedu. This is part of the issues that OBJ raised on Sunday. And these are the reservations that he has. But go to town and you can see all this array of attack and verbal abuse on his personality. I mentioned earlier on. As an elder statesman who is the most experienced, he understands the system, is the one that has dined and wined with those cabal that has been in control, either directly or remotely, about those who have ruled Nigeria in the past, since independence, since let me say the end of the war. Now, if a person of Obasanjo is now putting across his message as regards the reservations he has about the coming election, and people are trying to attack him, are we being ruled as a nation? Because this man has seen beyond us. He understands better than many of us understand. So these are the issues. So as he has put us, as he has said, with what has played up both in Ekiti and Osun State, are we expecting a free and fair election? Especially with the the security people being used to coerce, with big men being exported to those states to go and really. So, thugs involving in governance. And the worst part of it, people buying votes, putting money across. Don't you think already this election is already a no win? I don't know.
Well, thank you, Mr. Moduto. I think I emphasized on that point earlier. You see, I mean, look at what happened in Osun State and Ekiti recently, last year. It is quite unfortunate that it's what we call federal might. And a lot of people always think that, when you have the mantle of office, the mantle of office is there to be abused, irrespective. Because obviously they want to show to the public that, listen, at all costs, we want to win. And whether we win the logical way or the legal way, or we do everything we can to make sure that we win these elections, it doesn't matter. But unfortunately, you see, when this happens, we don't, and that is why I said earlier that we don't have a judiciary that is working. You see, when elections are being conducted, either at the federal level, either at state level, before you swear anybody in to be a governor or a senator, in a situation whereby there has been electoral fraud, electoral malpractices, you need to make sure that the people are given the mandate to the right person. And if that means going to a tribunal to make sure that the right decision is being made by giving, you see, you can't actually swear somebody in, and maybe they are now using public funds, which is meant for that state to be fighting for what doesn't belong to them. It doesn't make sense.
It won't work. It
won't work. You see, I mean, in Osun, in Osun, we had elections. It was clear. It was a clear winner. Adeleke won the elections. Now it came back as inconclusive. It has never been heard of anywhere in the world. And unfortunately, a lot of Nigerians have been so suppressed that we have a system that is working against Nigeria, in the sense that when they conduct elections, anybody can be rest assured that when you have people at the top who just want you there at all costs to cover their atrocities, be rest assured that when you have money, that is it. And forgetting about the fact that you are representing the interest of your people. This gentleman, Oyetola, contested under the platform of APC, knowing fully well that he did not win, knowing fully well that he has robbed the people of Osun State of their...
But the guest speaker, the caller was asking a question. Yeah. So that one has gone. I was asking the question that for what has happened, how will Atiku and PDP overcome this kind of situation?
That's the question.
That's the question. Just answer that.
Okay. Well, it's, I mean, as I said, a lot of people always say because you're not in government and, federal might, it's always difficult. But I would always say one thing, the only reason we can tackle that is to, say to every Nigerian out there who will be voting on the 16th that, bring your brother's keeper. If you notice any malpractices, report it to the police, report it to the authorities. Make sure that, if you notice anything irregular, make sure you bring it open into the public limelight. Even if you have to speak to, elections, you will have pressmen, you will have media men, you will have observers from all over the world. You see, it is important that your vote counts. And if you think that something untoward is going on, and you think that obviously, these are things that could affect your future for the next 4 years, it is imperative that you let the people who are actually conducting the elections in your locality or wherever you're casting your vote, to let them know what the situation is. And the only way we can get rid of this situation is being a brother's keeper. Atiku is contesting for the presidency on the 16th. He is advocating for our votes. He's calling on every meaningful Nigerian to cast their votes. He cannot ask for more. But at the end of the day, the system which is in place, which they want to manipulate, it is up to the authorities and every meaningful Nigerian who is going to be voting to see and administer properly if there is anything untoward.
Yeah, I think the Nigerians are hearing that please, on the election day, be your brother's keepers. Yes. Everybody on that day is actually a policeman. Yes. Whatever you think that is not right within your environment, please, even though we know the government can play any sort of security game to dazzle, but at least wherever you find yourself, there must be social media gurus there, the conventional media, they are there. Please, let them understand your reservation. Let them know what moves you are observing. Let them understand what is going on within your polling booths. And now, Mr. Jasokwe, what do you foresee? What do you consider what happened recently in Lagos in terms of violence? And we didn't know whether it was APC faction attacking the APC rally, or whether it was, nobody could have said. But seeing that scenario of violence, knifing, gunshot, what do you see? How do you see the next election? How is it going to go? What is going? Because at times I keep thinking about it. Have we got a future in Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Moderator. Yeah, two things. Mr. Gbedu, I want to
respond to. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said the other time. The only solution for any other political party to win, all right. The only solution to any other political to win is just for them to come out and meet INEC and security agency, talk to them, hit them hard, let them know that this is a serious job. And with that, I believe what happened in Osun State will not repeat itself. First, secondly, the Lagos State, even not Lagos State alone, even Ilorin, Kwara, there is a crisis there. When there is no war, why are we fighting as if there is war? Because of election. Now, because of the time has gone, I will only say we should plead with all our people, because I will not blame. If I want to talk deep into what happened in Lagos State, I know what happened. I know what I can say. I know those who caused the problem. You understand? Because of what they want to gain, because they want to control everybody. But that's not the issue. The issue now is just to call every well-meaning Nigerians to desist from this act of violence. Please, all our youth, please. If you see what I'm saying, you will know that I'm telling the truth. I'm begging, I'm kneeling down, I'm prostrating that please, every one of you should shed your sword, or how will I say it? That everybody should try to let peace reign. Please, there is no gain in what you have done, killing yourself because of these people that are making money around. I think that is the only advice I will have for even the political party, that they should call all their youths, all their political, all their people, that there is no gain in fighting for power. And if you fight for power, and if there is violence, we will still continue to be having problems for the next generation.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Now, can we have a last word from you? What do you advise the youths? Because we know they constitute most of society now. What do you advise them to do as the election is approaching? I'm looking back to what happened in Lagos State recently, which may actually, reoccur, or even within other states across the nation.
My advice to every youth in Nigeria is you have to understand that you are the future of that country. Whatever you do today would affect you and your children later on in life. My simple advice to you is do not allow lawlessness, thuggery, irresponsibilities that will lead you nowhere to override your sense of humor and your sense of judgment. The aging vote in any country is age of 18. For those youths who are above the age of 18, I expect you to have your PVC. Make your vote count on the 16th of February 2019. Do it in a civilized manner. Do it as a diligent Nigerian and make your votes count. Come 16th of February 2019, make sure you decide your future. And only you can decide your future by voting for the right candidate in Alhaji Abubakar Atiku. Your vote counts. Your vote matters. Remember, you are the future of tomorrow. What happens today will affect you in the next 20 or 30 years. That is my sincere advice to the youths.
Thank you, Mr. Obanleowo. I'm coming to the end of the program now, and I thank my guests, Honorable Obanleowo, who has been with us and who has been very much analyzing to us the programs for PDP. And as I assured you, before this week runs out, we are going to have another candidate from APC coming here. Then after that, we are going to pally them again, because that was our plan for today. But the man who was to come was so burdened today he couldn't make it. Sorry about that, and then we'll make sure that we balance everything out. Please don't take us that we are trying to be one-sided. It doesn't work out like that. We need a job to do. The guy who was supposed to come didn't show up. That's not our problem. It's their problem. But we still give them another chance to come next time, so they can at least tell Nigerians across the world what their plans are. And I'm thanking Mr. Ojasope once again, Mr. Olumide once again, because at least your contribution has helped us a lot, and even the questions we are asking the representative for PDP. And please know that those who fight to live, they fight another day. It is not worth your blood being spilled for a politician. After all, what are your gains eventually when you die? Put this in your mind. Put that at the back of your mind that this election coming is not a matter of do or die. Because if you spill your blood, the politicians are going to leave after that day. Please, let Nigerians be orderly. The eyes of the world are on us. Let's portray ourselves as a civil society that we have always been. Well-cultured, well-educated, well-civilized, well-exposed. Please, we should sell our country to the entire world in a positive manner, not trying to portray as if we are hooligans or maybe we are a jungle nation, which so many of our politicians have portrayed of us. Let us be orderly as we approach the election. As I said, by God's grace, every week we'll be meeting here with many political leaders. We'll be x-raying so many things as regard their program, the blueprint they have for the nation, what they have for Nigeria in terms of their program as political parties. Please, always be with Heritage Television, the new kid on the block, disseminating facts from the center of London to the entire world. Thank you very much for being part of this program. May God continue to help us. Next time, please join us as we present Which Way, Naija. Good night.
Well done.
Many years after independence, we still find it hard to start.
Heritage Television. Promoting African culture and heritage at its best. From talk shows that concern you to both local and international news that relates to you. From grassroots football to African children's programs. Heritage Television. We cover your social and special events like weddings, birthdays, church anniversaries and so on, and broadcast them live on our apps and online. Heritage Television, broadcasting everything about culture and heritage. Heritage Television. We've got it covered. Do download our apps on both Android, iOS, and Windows mobile platform. Heritage Television, your very own TV station.